This is something else I think is pretty neat for health. I guess you would say for joint pain or something like that, commonly used. At least this is one of the ingredients. And just to be a little more conventional with this, I'm going to take this straight off of Wikipedia. The DMSO, the dimethyl sulfoxide, sounds like a big name, right? I don't know if people heard of this or not. And Arnica Montana, which is a flower, which is herbal flower. Now, I've used these products before, and also there's a combination you can use too, and that maybe it has a couple other ingredients in it. But in my experience, it works very well for a number of things, and I'll say what they are later. In my experience and feedback I got from other people, and some of these things have been around for quite some time. And I'm of the theories, not in every case, because I could tell you right now, I look at alternative medicine with an extremely critical eye. Extremely critical, because believe me, I realize there's a lot of alternative medicine, or I don't know if you want to call this a medicine or not. Not necessarily is, but it has some applications for some things that are used for like arthritis sometimes. But it's an anti-inflammatory, just to cut to the chase. But sometimes with medicine, alternative medicine, they make a real lot of claims, like it does this, and thus. But these are a couple things I think are very worthwhile. They are. There's something legit about it, in my opinion. All right, well, it's called dimethyl sulfoxide, or DMSO for short, and it was first synthesized in 1866 by Russian scientist Alexander Zaitsev, I guess that is, and it's a byproduct of the wood pulp making industry, the paper pulp industry. It's actually produced by the ton every year, and I read this is one of the contentions where the pharmaceutical industry don't like it, because since it's produced by the ton every year, and it comes from trees, it's bad for their business in some ways if it has an application that can replace one of their products. That makes a lot of sense. I could bite into that argument. I do understand the money angle behind everything. There is a money angle behind everything. In medicine, right? The use of DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, in medicine dates from around 1963, when Oregon Health and Science University medical school team headed by Dr. Stanley Jacob, and I also read books on this guy, Dr. Stanley. Yeah, it says Stanley Jacob. It's Dr. Stanley Jacob. He was actually the head of the heart transplant clinic there. He was not a low-level doctor. It's not really alluding to it in this article, but that is a fact. You can look it up. Discovered that he discovered that DMSO could penetrate the skin and other membranes without damaging them, and also thus carry other compounds into the biological system. So in other words, it could be used as, like sometimes when you put something on the skin, you want something to go inside to the muscle. This stuff actually could deliver that into the muscle. So they found they can use antifungal medications with it, which enabled it to penetrate not just the skin, but also toes and fingernails and stuff like that. They also said it could be used for topical application of pharmaceuticals, because if you put the pharmaceutical on the skin, you put this over it, it delivers it. Now, a word of caution. If you're using some of this stuff that has this in it, in a cream, you want your skin clean, because if there's something like dirt on your skin or something contaminant, that could deliver that contaminant into the bloodstream. But otherwise, it is a safe thing. Depends on. Anything could be unsafe if you go to some extreme method of using it, but the normal ways of using DMSO, especially when it's a product that has DMSO in it with other ingredients, and it's specifically said for to use as an ointment, it's good. Now, one thing Dr. Stanley Jacob did, and I don't know if it alludes to this in this article, but he used it like a lot with people that had arthritis. And a lot of people claimed it worked really good because it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. It does. It actually does. And he used it a lot in sports medicine. And at one time, it was illegal to use in sports medicine. It was. And some of the contention is because, well, there's a whole bunch of garbage you can read back and forth about that, but it's not illegal now. It's actually... I think pure DMSO is sold as a solvent, not as a medicine or anything like that. But a lot of different things for skin, or what, not for skin per se, but for like muscle pain and things like that, arthritis, inflammation in the elbow or the knee, they'll have this ingredient in it. And a lot of people have said it works very well. You know, and also like this Cleveland Clinic Foundation in Cleveland, Ohio, they made, basically they came up and said, just to make it short here, they recommended DMSO for all inflammatory conditions not caused by infection or tumor in which symptoms were severe or patients failed to respond to conventional therapy. So they would try this DMSO. The DMSO is cheap. Now here's something interesting, because this is a lot of times in my common sense mind. A lot of times if the people use it in the veterinary world and they're not allowed to use it on people, you know, sometimes I wonder about some of those things. But, you know, you can kind of like say a little bit of it, get the gist of what it's used for. As DMSO is commonly used in veterinary medicine as a liniment for horses or in combination with other ingredients. In other words, the horse has a problem running or something like that, and they put this stuff on it with other ingredients, and it helps heal up things wrong with the horse. You know, to my common sense, that seems to indicate, you know, well, they do this with people. I mean, it works the same way. And not practicing medicine here or anything, but I mean, this is, and I'm not saying to use this product by itself. It's typically in a major ingredient in something else. Now, another ingredient that I see in some of the better products that is used for like anti-inflammatory, arthritis, joint pain, sports medicine, that type of stuff, is Arnica Montana, which is this flower. And actually there's like 30 species. It may be heard of a little bit in the United States. I didn't hear about this for quite some time. It's actually more popular in Europe and the UK. And was interesting. I had a friend of mine who was a retired surgeon, a doctor. And I'll tell you a little story. He was over in Switzerland with his wife, and they were skiing, and all of a sudden she threw her back or something, and when she does that, it happened where it would take 2 weeks, you know, or a week or something like that. It would be all messed up. She had to lay down, and, well, you know, all the stuff wouldn't work. That's when he found out about this. He went to one of those herbalists, and in her case specifically, only in her case that I know of for sure, and you know, I think he's honest because he's been a surgeon he's a retired surgeon with over 30 years experience. He said that's when he found out about this. She actually took it at the pill form. Now, be careful and read the directions on with the pill form, because it's like an over-counter thing. It's not prescription, but it has a couple things in there. If you have a heart condition, you don't want to take the pill form. But she took the pill form, and the back pain went away inside of a day. And that's the story. I was related to this story. I believe it. I mean, the person is very honest. He's a surgeon. That's how he found out about this stuff. It's also, you know, it's very anti-inflammatory. It's usually used for, you know, people might have pains, you know, things like that, arthritis and stuff like that. And you know, the species, it's also used in sports medicine, a lot of different things. You know, the species Arnica montana is native to Europe, has long been used medicinally, but this use has not been substantiated. You know, and I'm getting this from Wikipedia. Now, on other things you can read, it'll tell you the best things about this, like it does everything in the world. So I'm kind of like giving you the tame version of it, you know. And I'm just I'm saying, look, what I'm putting out is that some stuff that I researched that I think is legit, and it's like there's a lot of things out there, and I'm trying to put the best ones out there. Arnica Montana has been used medicinally for centuries. However, there is no scientific studies that prove the medical effectiveness. And you know, I always wonder about something like this. You know, a little common sense. Well, if they're using it medicinally for centuries, do you think it works or doesn't work? You know, come on, right? I mean, you know, but there's no. Well, the other thing is, you know, I always have this suspicion, and I do look at this alternative stuff with a critical eye because there is snake oil in alternative. But, you know, I always look at it like, hey, it's a plant. It's growing every place. You know, you take the plant and you got medicine, right? Well, nobody's going to sell you the plant because it, you know, it grows for free, right? Homeopathic preparations of arnica are widely marketed and used in the UK and also in Europe. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency has registered the product for sprains and bruising under the national rules for homeopathic products. So it has a use. Now I want to show one product. I never used this product. I used something like it, and it was like I used to use that mineral ice, you know, like you're working out too much and it hurts. I use this stuff a lot of times, you know. And it's not, well, it's something like this. It has DMSO in it, arnica, rosemary, I don't know, soap bark leaves, aloe vera. And, you know, this, you know, like in other words, it says, this is fairly expensive stuff. 2 ounces for $20, but you could see on Amazon, 417 reviews, quite a bit of reviews, 4.5 stars. Usually when you have something have that many reviews and it's almost 5 stars, it's working good, right? It's working good. And they claim, you know, it helps with the discomfort associated with tennis elbow, sports injury, right? Carpal tunnel syndrome from typing too much, arthritis, bursitis, tendinitis. And, you know, a lot of people have these things. And I'm just saying that this product contains a large amount of, like they list the ingredients in order. DMSO, right here, DMSO, #1 ingredient, vitamin B6, and then one of the top ingredients, Arnica Montana extract. And of course, you know, other things like shea butter. Now, I found stuff on eBay, and I never tried the product yet. I just ordered one. It was 16 ounces for like, I forgot what it was, maybe $20, but 16 ounces, in other words, 8 times the size of this. It was mainly Arnica Montana with DMSO and a number of natural things like I think aloe vera, shea butter, and everything in it was all 100% natural, and it was an independent vendor. But I never used the product before, and I got it on the way, so it probably is a smart deal. Now, I used to get one from herbalremedies.com that had DMSO Arnica Montana in it, and aloe vera, rosemary, that type of stuff, and it's no longer being made. And I suspect probably the manufacturer maybe got some heat from the FDA, right? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. I'm not sure what the reason is, but you know, obviously this product does contain those two things. It's got a lot of great reviews on it, and Arnica Montana and DMSO are a couple of the primary ingredients amongst other ingredients. And this is probably the better way to use this stuff, the DMSO and the Arnica Montana. Actually get a product that's already put together with the right combination of ingredients, and if it's used topically, you can't go wrong. But I found these type of products work way better than all those other products they sell, like in all these places out here, you know, that sell these different things where people have injuries, or they have arthritis, or their elbow hurts, or their knee hurts, or their neck hurts. This stuff works really good, and it's true. So just figured I'd pass this on. I think it's a very legit tip. DMSO, Arnica Montana, those two things, especially when they're combined in a good quality product.